Peace, family. Welcome back to Flesh of the Gods. I am the God Shango, and today we want to tap into some of hip hop's history, how it deals with some of the prison industry, and a couple other things that's been very rarely talked about. So, without further ado, family, I want to say thank y'all for being here, and let's get right into it.
I swear to God, nothing I ever say is meant to be something where innocent people get hurt. Nothing I ever say is meant to be like a end all, let's go do it right now. Nothing. Everything I ever say, and if any, this is so we can set it clear, anything I ever say as it pertains to my peers and being strapped is only in self-defense. You know what I'm saying? Because right now where I'm at, the world is harsh. And I just don't got no beautiful stories. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to just be getting them ready. Because that's why I think I messed up. If somebody would have grabbed me, pulled me to the side and been like, look, Tupac, as soon as you step out here, they're going to be at you. If somebody would have explained it to me, I wouldn't have took the same mistakes. But I made those mistakes. And that was my job to stop somebody else from making those same mistakes. To lay it out. To lay out the real map on the world. And how.
Yo, what's cracking? You know what it is. It's your homeboy Ice Cube. And some of you may not have realized that I'm not part of the club. And a lot of you listening to me right here, right now, you're not part of the club either.
So it says, hello. After more than 20 years, I finally decided to tell the world what I witnessed in 1991. They weren't ready for.
Damn.
Hold on, let me
So we gonna tell a story.
We gonna tell the story. We ain't scared.
You know what I'm saying? What they gonna do?
They after us, not just playing.
Look, that black van.
So look.
It was crazy because, I didn't even know what was going on until I woke up. All I knew is that I went to the hospital because I was coughing up blood, and I woke up 10 days later. When I first woke up, I didn't remember anything. I didn't even remember going to the hospital. Going inside the hospital, and I was coughing up so much blood, they had to bring me like a little plastic bag. They asked me all kind of questions. Do you take blood? If anything happens, do you want to be, revived? I'm like, because they was like, we have to put you under, just like to see what's going on with your lungs. So I was like, okay, yeah, cool. So, man, they put me under, and man, like I said, I woke up 10 days later.
So, the secret meeting that changed rap music and destroyed a generation.
Damn.
So he says, between the late 80s and early 90s, I was what you may call a decision maker with one of the more established companies in the music industry, rap music's new direction.
Yeah.
Little did I know we would be asked to participate in one of the most unethical and destructive business practices ever seen.
Crazy.
And what I realized with the club is what makes them so mad is when you don't want to be a part of their fucking club. That pisses them off. What club am I talking about? I'm talking about the club of gatekeepers that we all got to deal with. You know who they are, and they definitely know who they are. A lot of people would be like, what, who? Come on, man, stop playing.
Everything I'm saying is a warning, is a plea for help. If everybody is so goddamn worried about me, why ain't nobody came to help me? You know what I'm saying? I never wanted to be no star. This ain't my job. I don't care if everybody don't cheer for me. You know what I'm saying? If you're not cheering for me for what I'm doing, don't cheer for me. Don't cheer because you think I'm cute. You know what I'm saying? Screw that. Cheer for me for what I'm doing, for what I stand for. And when I go to jail, you should cheer louder. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm standing up for what I do. I'm not robbing nobody, not stealing from nobody. I never took nothing. Everything I do to represent my people. I do because I think this is what they want me to do.
I'm not going to talk too long because we have the demonstration at Sony, as you know. This is very important because throughout the years, black artists have been taken advantage of. Completely. And it's time now that we have to put a stop to this incredible injustice. And like Mrs. Sharpton was saying, people from James Brown to Samuel Davis Jr., some of the real pioneers that inspired me to be the entertainer that I am. These artists are always on tour because if they stopped touring, they would totally go broken. And it's been, the record companies really do conspire against their artists. They steal, they cheat, they do whatever they can, especially the black artists. Yes, and Tommy Mottola, the president of the record division. He is a mean, he's a racist, and he's very devilish. Yes. So I need your support, not just for me. When you fight for me, you're fighting for all black people. Dead and alive. It seems that to me, I really believe it's a conspiracy because the story always ends the same. We pioneer, we innovate. You know, at the end of the story, you know, it's not an accident. It's happened on purpose. So we have to put an end to it forever.
Yes, sir.
Love you, thank you.
So this was the meeting. The meeting was held at a private residence on the outskirts of Los Angeles. I remember about 25 to 30 people were being there.
Right.
Most of them familiar faces. Speaking of those I knew, we joked about the theme of the meeting, as many of us did not care for rap and failed to see the purpose of being invited to a private meeting to discuss the future of hip-hop.
Talk to him.
Among the attendees was a small group of unfamiliar faces who stayed to themselves and made no attempt to socialize beyond their circle. Based on their behavior and formal appearances, they didn't seem to be from our industry. Our casual chatter was interrupted when we were asked to sign a confidentiality agreement preventing us from publicly discussing the information presented during the meeting. Needless to say, this intrigued, in some cases, disturbed many of us. The agreement was only a page long, but very clear on matters and consequences, which stated that violating the terms would result in job termination immediately. We asked several people what this meeting was about and the reason for such secrecy, but could not find anyone who had the answers for us. A few people refused to sign and walked out. Nobody stopped them. I was tempted to follow, but curiosity, a man who was part of the unfamiliar group, collected all the agreements from us. Quickly after this meeting began, one of the industry colleagues, who shall remain nameless like everybody else, thanked us for attending. He then gave the floor to a man who only introduced himself by first name and gave no other details about his personal background. I think he was the owner of the residence, but that was never confirmed. He briefly praised all of us for the success we had achieved in our industries and congratulated us for being selected as part of this small group of decision makers. At this point, I began to feel slightly uncomfortable and the strangeness of this gathering. The subject quickly changed as the speaker went on to tell us that the respective companies we represented had invested in a very profitable industry, which could become even more rewarding with our active involvement.
Damn.
He explained that the companies we worked for had invested millions into the building of privately owned prisons, and that our positions of influence in the music industry would actually impact the profitability of these investments. Then he says, I remember many of us in the group immediately looking at each other in awe and confusion. At the same time, I didn't know what a private prison was, but I wasn't the only one. Sure enough, someone asked what these prisons were and what any of this had to do with music. We were told that these prisons were built by privately owned companies who received funding from the government based on the number of inmates.
Mm-hmm.
The more inmates, the more the government would pay these prisons.
Mm-hmm.
It was also made clear to us that since these prisons are privately owned, as they become publicly traded, we'd be able to buy shares. Most of us were taken back by this. Again, a couple of people asked what this had to do with us. At this point, my industry colleague who had first opened the meeting took the floor again and answered our questions. He told us that since our employees had become silent investors in this prison business, it was now in their interest to make sure that these prisons remain filled.
You wouldn't have the same record contracts you have.
Right.
But because you portray the thug life, the gangster rap, they've allowed you to make that money. They've allowed you to push and make your platinum.
I beg to differ. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting pimped. That's true. But just like how a woman would be, you know what I'm saying? Anybody to be pimped. You know, it's like, it's not that you get pimped. It's how long you get pimped. You know what I'm saying? Because if you really look at this situation, it is not I who's being pimped. When you look at them white kids with Raiders hats on, it's the white folks getting pimped. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm making their future. I'm writing down their curriculum. Right now, what I write in my album today, when it comes out in 2 months, that's what white kids is doing. So who really is getting pimped? What I'm writing in my raps is what them white kids is gonna be saying to their mamas and daddies when they come home. Who is getting pimped? You know what I'm saying? I'm a high school dropout. You know what I'm saying? As far as my teacher told me when I was in high school, I ain't gonna be, you know what I'm saying? I just gotta, it's going down. You know what I'm saying? It's going down. You know, everybody's getting pimped. Whether you work a 9 to 5 or whether you work for yourself, you're getting pimped by somebody. That's not the crime. The crime is how long you allow yourself to get pimped. You have to come up. Everything is a come up. Everything is a struggle. You start from the bottom, working to the top.
United States of America, we wouldn't have virtually any music if it weren't for the black people. Virtually, I think all of our music, whether it's country, western, bluegrass, the blues, rock and roll, you name it, it all started and came from black America. So when you listen to the music of your choice, remember, chances are you wouldn't hear that music if it weren't for black people long ago.
Straight ahead, all together. Straight ahead, everybody, straight ahead. Hey, just to your right a bit. There we go. That's it. Yeah, Doug. Over to your right, Doug. Look right, look right, look right. Doug, look right, look right. And over to your left, over to your left.
Now when Israel was in Egypt land,
let my people go.
Oppressed so hard they could not stand,
let my people go.
So the Lord said, go down,
go down,
Moses,
Moses,
way down in Egypt land. Tell old Pharaoh,
I say, roll, Jordin, roll, roll, Jordin, roll. My soul arise in heaven, Lord, for the year when Jordin roll. Hallelujah, roll, Jordin, roll, roll, Jordin, roll. My soul arise in heaven, Lord, for the year when Jordin roll. Hallelujah, roll, Jordin, roll.
Roll, Jordin, roll. My soul arise in heaven, Lord, for the year when Jordin roll.
Everybody say,
Could you add anything to what Joan said about the jail treatment?
Well, I know that when we were in jail, I keep pushing up here. Most of the officers there were black officers, you know, and they live in these ghettos. You know, so we know that the sisters who have those jobs, the women who have those jobs, and the majority, those people just have to work someplace, you know. And I feel that Joan used to when we finally did get her permission to have literature to read, and that was after like around 10 or 12 months, you know.
Because I understand that it's not going to stop. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to stop until we stop it. That's right. And it's not just white men that's doing this to Brenda, and it's not just white men that's keeping us trapped. Right. It's black. Right. You know what I'm saying? We have to find the new African in everybody, in all of us. Because if we keep running around looking for black and who got the most colors on and who got the baddest dashiki on, we still gonna get, excuse my language, fucked. Right. Because it irks me that my mother right now is going through, you know, she has to get clean. This is somebody who I watched travel the whole country, you know what I'm saying, during a time when women were scared to speak up for the Black Panthers. She spoke at Harvard, Yale, everywhere, and now I see my mother as what's really going on. You know what I'm saying? And I don't see no big parades around my mother now. And she done got a dozen fucking awards, and I don't see nobody there. You understand what I'm saying? So about all this, I take that lightly. I take all this lightly. What I want you to take seriously is what we have to do for the youth. Right. Because we're coming up in a totally different world. Right. This is not the same world that you had.
So there we are, Joe and I were trading. For my money, some of the nicest records of the past 12 months have come from a group of artists gathered together on one record label, which launched itself in this country last year with albums by the Eagles, Jojo Gunn, Jackson Browne and Judy Sill. The gentleman responsible for putting Asylum Records together is David Geffen. He's in London for a few days and he's here with us tonight in the Whistle Test studio. David, welcome to the programme.
Thank you very much.
It's nice to have the opportunity of meeting you and talking with you because I love Asylum Records very, very much. How did you pull the threads of the label together?
Well, it all started about 2 years ago when my partner and I had a lot of trouble with getting a record deal for Jackson Browne and Judy Sill, so we decided we'd do it ourselves and make a go of it, and it's turned out very well.
You record the artists yourself, do you?
Yes.
Yeah.
We don't produce the records, no. We use independent producers for everything, or we let the artists produce themselves, whatever they want. It's a very artist-oriented company, and whatever they want to do, we support them in, or we shouldn't be involved with them.
The artists presumably are in full control of what happens.
I think that they are, as much as they can be.
Did you find many problems actually putting the label together, David?
Actually not, because we put the label together with Atlantic Records as our partner, and they helped us tremendously, and EMI distributes us here in England, and they've been fantastic.
What kind of background did you have to back up for experience with the new?
Well, before we started the record company, Elliot and I were managing Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young, and Joni Mitchell, and Laura Nyro, a bunch of people. And prior to that, we were agents for many years with William Morris and the Ashley Famous Agency in New York. So we've been involved with musicians for 8 or 10 years before we started the record company.
Because one of the interesting things about Asylum, I think, David, is that it perhaps more than almost any label I can think of, reflects the musical taste of the person who runs it. You do have very specific musical ideas, don't you?
I think I like music, you know. Whatever strikes me as being good is something that I want to record. I mean, I don't think that every record that we make is a hit, or that every artist that we record is going to be a star, but I think that all the music that we put out is very valid, and that all the people making these records are making good records. And I think that's what's important.
You offered me a job running MCA. Now, MCA, as a music company, was known in the industry at that time as the Music Cemetery of America. Sincerely, everyone they had very few artists. They had a very good country division, actually. And they had Mary J. Blige and a group called Rush, but that was it. They had about an 8% market share.
And Interscope and then Universal?
Well, what happened was Jimmy was getting bombed from Washington because he was still putting out these vulgar, misogynistic records, and it was very easy for him to free himself then from the Warner Group, and I was very eager to get him to Universal. It was to MCA, which Edgar and I changed the name to Universal. So there they came. Jimmy ran the West Coast, and I ran the East Coast, called it Universal. And that was the key moment for that Universal. It was a small company before that. Jimmy came over, and within the first year and a half, he had the number 1, 2, 3, 4 albums in the country. And we ran right up to like over a 20% market share. It was an amazing, really fun.
So what was your strategy at Universal?
Well, the strategy was to fill it with urban music. I don't think a record company can really be successful without urban music, the roots of our music. And we had Death Row. I bought Def Jam. We acquired Cash Money. And just with those three companies, we probably had 40–45% of all the urban music in America. And then all the cool kids wanted to come with us. So it was really fun.
So, I mean, it's interesting hearing that because it strikes me that you must have thought about a particular culture, about generating a particular culture at an organization like Universal. Can you talk us through what culture you tried to bring in?
Well, by culture, for me, you know, getting that urban music was cultural, but I had my own culture about how
our job would be to help make this happen by making music which promote criminal behavior, rap being the music of choice. He assured us that this would be a great situation for us because rap music was becoming an increasingly profitable market for our companies, and as employees, we'd also be able to buy stocks in these prisons. Immediately, silence came over the room. You could have heard a pin drop. I remember looking around to make sure I wasn't dreaming and saw half of the people with dropped jaws. My daze was interrupted when someone shouted, "Is this a fucking joke?" At this point, things became chaotic.
Right.
Two of the men who were part of the unfamiliar group grabbed the man who shouted and attempted to remove him from the house. A few of us, myself included, tried to intervene. One of them pulled out a gun, and we all backed off. They separated us from the crowd, and all four of us was escorted outside. My industry colleague, who opened up the meeting earlier, hurried out to meet us and reminded us that we had signed an agreement and would suffer the consequences of speaking out about this publicly, or even those who attended the meeting.
Damn.
I asked him, why was he involved with something so corrupt? And he replied, it's bigger than the music business and nothing we can do. And, no, it's bigger than the music business and nothing we want to challenge without risking consequences. We all protested as we walked back into the house. I remember word for word the last thing he said. It's out of my hands now. Just remember you signed an agreement. He then closed the door behind him. The men rushed us to our car and actually waited until we drove off the property.
Damn.
So this meeting, bro.
Now that's a lot for a meeting right there.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, and this person later on, he said, you know, this person actually ended up leaving the music industry after this happened. Well, a few years after this, he ended up leaving the music industry.
Okay.
And he said he just, like, you know, over the years he just felt guilty because he said as he sat back and he watched these plans come to a reality
over 2 decades,
he sat back and was like, wow, they really pulled it off.
Yeah.
They really pulled this off. He was like, they were told not to sign any more political rappers, any more rappers that had messes in their music.
No positivity.
It was all to be gangster rap music that they promoted and put out.
So if you wonder where Brand Nubians went, where Pro Righteous Teachers went, where Public Enemy went, where KRS-One went, and all sorts of groups like that was talking, even Queen Latifah and Moni Love and those, you know
everybody.
What I'm saying? It's a back door.
So, you ever heard of Panda? Like I was telling you, Panda. So you got Panda Panda is a secret code for a certain thing. And so when it comes down to that certain thing, so what it is you basically have a certain nerve in your rectum. And if you touch that nerve, you can turn a person into an animal. You can turn a person into whatever you want them to be if you just hold them down. So pretty much when you see black eyes like Blueface and, you know, shit like that, he got beat up, but he didn't get beat up where you thought he got beat up. He got beat up somewhere else, okay? And so the eyes come out, and they call them panda eyes. And they do this to, so you see people with these cigars, and they're you know, all these big celebrities, they all have the cigar in common. That's that big-ass thing between their legs that they're sticking in.
If Murphy cooperated with the DA's office, the office would cooperate with him. Routine in such cases. Hudson says he acknowledges before Walter Murphy, who surrendered on the YSL racketeering conspiracy indictment, went to prison in 2016.
I did my time like a man.
He was a bad dude.
He was messed up in 2012 and 13 and 15, but he has since changed.
The purpose of count 1 is to hold the defendants responsible collectively.
The YSL RICO conspiracy count alleges acts by Murphy, including an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon on or about September 11, 2013, an attempted murder involving 4 different victims on or about April 12, 2015. Hudson says Murphy had been charged in those incidents years ago, and he pled guilty or guilty in what's known as an Alfred plea, basically to reduce charges, and until his surrender had been out on parole since early this year. We spoke to Murphy when he was free.
I spent 7 years in prison. While I was in prison, I stayed out the way. And I just got my GED, completed all my classes, completed the transition center. I transitioned back into the world. I got me a job at the transition center.
A prosecutor says a victim in one of the incidents in Murphy's past lost part of his head in the shooting. Hudson says Murphy was present, not the trigger man, in the shooting of a man who lost part of his head.
He has an extensive criminal history.
Defense lawyer Hudson acknowledges the pleas he worked out to Murphy's earlier cases, one negotiated and one non-negotiated, were sweet deals. But he maintains Murphy made the most of them. And since his release is not associated with YSL and has held a steady job.
Changed his tone and changed his life.
To me, this star is a symbol of the artists and the people who make the music and actually move the world.
Ladies and gentlemen, we proudly welcome to the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Doug Morris. I'll be so glad when the sun goes down.
When the sun goes down.
Well, it's early in the morning, but when I ride, Lordy Mama, I heard a robin this morning. I'm feeling happy today. I'm gonna put my cares in a whistle, blow them all away.
Early this morning.
Now, when I was a young boy,
So I don't fit in. That's hell. It's hell when you can't be around your peers. All my life I grew up around black people, poor people, but I can't live around poor people now because they'll rob me. And why would they rob me? Because they're starving, because there's no money here. But they're telling me, now that I made a little money, I have to move here. So it's not like no one's ever trying to deal with this section. They're just moving away from it. And we're going to have more stars coming from the ghetto, but they're gonna all move this way. You know what I'm saying? So it's like all the society is doing is leeching off the ghetto. They use the ghetto for their pain, for their sorrow, for their culture, for their music, for their happiness, for their movies, to talk about boys in the hood. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be another I don't want to be 50 years old at a BET We Shall Overcome Achievement Awards. You know what I'm saying? Not me. You know, I want when they see me, they know that every day when I'm breathing, it's for us to go farther. You know, every time I speak, I want the truth to come out. You know what I'm saying? Every time I speak, I want to shiver. You know, I don't want them to be like, they know what I'm going to say because it's polite. They know what I'm going to say. And even if I get in trouble, you know what I'm saying? Ain't that what we're supposed to do? I'm not saying I'm going to rule the world or I'm going to change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world. And that's our job, is to spark somebody else watching us. We might not be the ones, but let's not be selfish, and because we're not going to change the world, let's not talk about how we should change it. I don't know how to change it, but I know if I keep talking about how dirty it is out here, somebody's going to clean it up.
Names, Bill, but if you follow the money, you go high enough, you start to see, okay, you know, this is an industry. Okay, let's take rap music.
Let's take it.
Same people who own the labels own the prisons. So,
literally the same people?
Literally the same people who own the labels own private prisons. So, you know, it seems really kind of suspicious, if you want to say that word, that, you know, the records that come out are really geared to push people towards that prison industry.
But they didn't make you write those lyrics.
It's not about making somebody write the lyrics. It's about being there as guardrails to make sure certain songs make it through and certain songs don't. Certain flavors are exposed on the record. You know, some records are made by committee, meaning record company guys sit around and tell the artists, this is hot, say that, do this. We're going to have this guy write the lyrics. We're going to have that. So the narrative is really kind of, you know, structured and really made into what the record company want the record to be, and what a lot of artists are frustrated with this kind of music making.
There will be overly generous contracts to private prisons that are now being built, and the hiring of companies that are difficult for the government to supervise.
There was a record increase last year for the federal and state prisons. It's been going up quite steadily since 1980, but last year was the record increase. The United States has been oscillating for first or second place in proportion of the prison population, of the population in prison. By the late 80s, the United States was in first place. It had passed South Africa quite a few years before, and it had passed Russia. After the so-called capitalist reforms took over in Russia, the prison population there shot up. And for the early 90s, the U.S. was in second place. Russia was ahead of us. This year, because of this increase, the United States is back in first place. So now the United States locks up more of its population than any country in the world. And that's rising fast. And predicted that at the current rate of increase of prisons there, the state budget would be entirely used for prisons, meaning they have to cut back education, which is the thing you cut first. The increase in prisons has nothing to do with crime, as far as anybody knows. The level of crime has been fairly constant. Violent crime, other crimes. I mean, you know, there's shifts around and so on, but there's certainly been no big change, according to FBI statistics at least.
Initially, it didn't make sense to me. I just thought it was an interesting fact. But this is more so a case of mistaken identity. The Michael Jordan that actually owns stocks and that actually owns private prisons is an individual who's an Oregon lawmaker, and he's a white guy.
You know, for me, that automatically, like, puts LeBron now leaps and bounds above, like, let's say a Jordan. Okay? Because there's been rumors that your man Jordan actually has invested in private prisons. And he's never denied it.
People talking about Jordan putting niggas in prison, buying a prison. White people been buying prison, but they still buy their shoes, though. He gotta do what he gotta do. If you had money like Jordan, you probably would have bought a prison too. Most niggas ain't no good anyways. How can you blame Jordan for buying a prison? Joke of the day.
Ever wonder why you see the same stereotypes of black and brown people depicted in hip-hop music? What if I told you that some of the biggest music companies are in cahoots with private prison owners? and that the rap music we listen to is not only meant to entertain, but to verbally and visually support criminal behaviors that funnel disenfranchised people into these private prisons. Lastly, what if I told you I have proof? In 2012, CoreCivic, formerly known as Corrections Corporation of America, the biggest name in the private prison industry, contacted 48 states offering to buy their prisons. One requirement of eligibility for the deal was particularly strange: an assurance by the agency partner that the agency has sufficient inmate population to maintain a minimum 90% occupancy rate over the term of the contract. Wait, right? What? What kind of legal and ethical measures could be taken to ensure the maintenance of a 90% prison occupancy rate? Now let's work together to connect these things. I'm sure you're a smart person. It won't be long. Let's do the work. In 2012, a mere 232 media executives were responsible for the intake of 277 million Americans, controlling all avenues necessary to manufacture any celebrity and spark any trend. Time Warner, as the owner of Warner Brothers Records, can not only sign an artist, but since they're also owners of Entertainment Weekly, they can also put an artist on the cover by next week. You think you choose what you listen to, but do you? Both BET and MTV belong to Viacom. Okay, now I know that's not news to some, but when the use of these media conglomerates is cross-checked with ownership of the biggest names in prison privatization, it's starting to get a little fishy. The largest holder in CoreCivic, formerly Corrections Corp of America, is Vanguard Group Incorporated. Vanguard is the #1 largest holder in both Viacom and Time Warner. Vanguard is also the largest holder in the GEO Group, the second largest owner of private prisons in the U.S. The overlap in private prison / mass media ownership is disturbing. Let's make this clear. The people who own the media are the same people who own private prisons. The exact same people. They make money from getting so-and-so from the hood to glorify the life they live. And they don't care about the impact it has on others because money is the motive. Then when the music influences others in criminal behavior, they make money from all the impressionable low-income people of color that are expected to go inside their private prisons. You can research these companies yourself, by the way. It's not hidden. Now,
when that Drake stopped, I really if he performed that shit at the Super Bowl. You called him a pedophile, I know he really hates you. You really got Drake out here suing his record label. You looking corny for doing that Drake stop. That's worse than J. Cole apologizing to K. Dot. You filing the lawsuit, fuck is that all about? That's that white boy shit in you that Kendrick was talking about. Shit crazy, know I made y'all laugh a lot. The new big three is Kendrick, Future, and Travis Scott. I know that's some niggas gonna talk about. Like the new big three is who, what murder talking about?
So, ever since I put out the contract with Black America, you know they've been fucking with me. Here and there, this and that. But it's cool, you know. I expect that. You know, I've been working with, on the big three for a long time, and you know how they've been fucking with me with that. I done made it, plain, simple, and clear what they've been doing. The NBA been fucking with us. Now, a lot of people might say, like, well, but Keefe, you want to work with the NBA. Really, I don't give a fuck about working with the NBA. What I want them to do, when I say work with us, is to stop working against us. Stop doing that bullshit behind the scenes that we know you're doing. Mainstream media, they ain't fucking with us. And that's cool. We can do it ourselves, you know what I'm saying? We still on the rise without these motherfuckers. So we don't need them, you don't need them. So what am I gonna do to deal with these motherfucking gatekeepers? Well, what I'm gonna do is go on a Fuck the Gatekeepers podcast tour. And I'm gonna go talk to everybody, and get a chance to get my message out to the people. Be able to let people hear from me, and you might agree, you might not, but the important thing is, for me to go on these platforms, say what I feel about what I think. And, some people may get pissed off because I'm going to talk to everybody. I'm not playing. And it's gonna be a crazy summer. It's gonna be fun.
The most important contribution that you've made to the industry?
I think it was taking on the ISPs. It was very interesting because one day I was watching my grandson. He was watching videos, and he was watching an old video, I think it was called In the House, or it was a rap video. And I'm watching it, and I see this ad comes down, another ad comes down, another ad comes down. This video was 7 years old. I'm saying, I wonder what we're getting paid for these videos. So the next day I call up the president of our company and said, how much are we getting paid for those videos? This was on Yahoo. And he said, nothing. And I said, why nothing? He says, we don't get paid for videos, they're promotional. I said, oh, what a ripoff. So I called Terry Stemmel, who was the head of Yahoo, and was a friend of mine from the Warner days. He'd run the picture company. And I said, Terry, you're running all these videos of ours next to advertisements. So are you getting paid? He said, absolutely. Well, what are you doing for us? I'm giving you great promotion. I said, I don't want any promotion. We have enough promotion. Stop with the promotion. I said, I want to get paid. And he said, and he's a lovely man, he said, over my dead body. Honest to God. So I said, well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take our videos off. And we worked out a deal where we asked them for 0.8 cents for every video that they would show. And they sent me back a very polite letter saying, absolutely not. So we took all the videos off all the ISPs. And as soon as we did that, it was interesting because Sony, I was at Universal then. I get confused sometimes with the companies. But as soon as we did that, Sony took theirs off. And you could see their audience go down immediately. 30 days later, they called us and everyone paid us. So in that 1 month, we turned videos, which were a huge, tens of millions of dollars of expenditures to promote the artists, into a tremendous profit center, which is increasing every day. And it was just because you can't be afraid of things. You have to go face them. I didn't get one artist complaint. The artists knew they were making no money from these things. And it was a wonderful victory for the industry.
I didn't get one artist complaint. The artists knew they were making no money from these things. And it was a wonderful victory for the industry.
Family? No, you looking at the family now. And when I hear you black folk talking about fam, you back the good old days when the family was the family. When was that? When was the black family the black family? When white folk could just come in the house and lynch any nigga in the family they wanted, and one of the damn thing you would do was say, well, thank God they didn't get all of us. Was that the family y'all talking about?
Something terrible would happen at the end, not to mention the fact that Michael constantly told me, Latoya, if I die, they're going to murder me, they're going to kill me. He would tell me that, Barbara, and that's when Michael passed. When I found out he had actually passed, I said, no, it wasn't an accident. He was murdered.
Your brother was murdered.
I always believed that from day one. I said, I'm not going to accept anything else, Barbara. They could have told me a heart attack. They could have told me he had fallen off a ladder, and I would have said, no, it's not a heart attack. He was murdered.
I love you more. I just simply want to say that this isn't a new animal. I mean, this has been going on for a long, long time. Did you know that Otis Blackwell, you heard her name, Otis Blackwell? Otis Blackwell wrote most of the Elvis Presley songs. This man died penniless. Yes, and I'll never forget another great story when the Beatles first landed in New York. They did New York, Ed Sullivan show, and they were in a press conference for the show. He said, hey guys, what kind of music do you listen to? What inspires you to write the songs you write? And back then they used the word color. They said, we love the colored music. That's where it comes from. But that isn't just then, it also applies to now. And even more so now. So I want you to be strong and fight for a very important cause, you know? Because the future is very important. And there's a lot of talent out there. I want black people to be an institution, you know? We don't have the institutions that we should have. So please, it's important, okay? So when one is in pain, we all are in pain, okay? So we must put an end to this racism. Racism is bad. Tommy Mottola made some very racist remarks, okay? And what are you talking about, Randy?
Yeah, anything that was harmless, fun rap, you know, anything that had a message in it had to go.
Yeah, that's why if you even notice though,
we talk about that all the time.
Even be brief with it, you know what I'm saying? Those charms that came out like maybe in 1988, 89, the African charms, those they lasted for about 2 years and they disappeared real quick, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Now, after reading all this, you know, it actually made me feel a few different ways. The first emotion I felt was shocked, because I was definitely taken back by this, just knowing the level of evil that's involved by even thinking of a plan like this. You know what I'm saying? The second emotion I felt was anger. Anger because it's not enough for them to exploit our culture and make all the money off of it. Mm-hmm. Because let's keep it real, the industry has never been favorable towards the artists. Never. But they're going to go beyond the artists to get the artist to influence and lure in the consumer, which they knew at the time were mainly minorities.
Yep.
In other words, keep promoting gangster rap so that the youngsters will be influenced by them, which in turn will incite them to want to act like them, and it's a very good chance they'll end up in their prison.
Yeah.
So they're getting paid twice. They're getting paid from the artists they signing, and then they're getting paid from the people that these artists influence that goes to prison trying to be like these artists.
Yeah.
So they making a killing.
A killing.
They're using the music business to promote their private prison business.
Involving rapper Young Thug. Police arrested more than 24 people, including the artist, and accused them of running a violent gang. We were in court today as a judge denied bond for another man accused of being a co-founder of that gang, known as YSL. Channel 2 investigative reporter Mark Winnie with us live outside the Fulton County Courthouse. And Mark, you were able to have that exclusive interview with Walter Murphy.
We believe he is one of the co-founders of the YSL criminal street gang.
After the judge's bond ruling against Walter Murphy, a defendant in the YSL case,
I'm going to deny bond at this point in time.
His lawyer, Jacoby Hudson, admits he went off.
He's changed, Judge. He's crying. He's doing the right thing.
The defense lawyer says Murphy's situation is tied to a high-profile co-defendant in the YSL case, to the gang and RICO conspiracy charges against famous rapper Jeffrey Williams, a.k.a. Young Thug, whose lawyer Brian Steele has said,
Mr. Williams committed no crime whatsoever.
The whole case is about Jeffrey, Young Thug, Jeffrey Lamar Williams. That's who they want. My client don't want to talk about Jeffrey Williams.
A prosecutor at the Fulton County District Attorney's Office says Hudson was told if Murphy cooperated with the DA's office, the office would cooperate with him. Routine in such cases.
Heaven, I'm in heaven, and my heart.
Cry when you said goodbye. Ain't that a shame?
Change the course of the crack epidemic. I don't know what's this opioid thing, man.
Well, being a crackhead wasn't cool back then. Being a crackhead wasn't cool. Now it seems like they're making it cool to be drinking lean and syrup and.
It's the most dangerous. It's the most dangerous thing that's facing our society.
So why sign an artist that would promote that?
Because I already answered that question. You weren't paying attention. She asked me talent or issues, and I said talent. But I have to. I can't give up on people.
You don't think that's hypocritical though? You're saying
it's opportunistic. Yeah. I got people to feed. I got a business to run.
You're gonna make Dame Dash take this clip and call you a culture vulture.
We'll stop it right there.
That was an alley-oop. I forgot about that alley-oop he gave.
We'll stop it right there. I won't get you too mad.
Oh, my.
So we moved to Baltimore, which was total ignorance town to me. I mean, Baltimore has the highest rate of blacks killing blacks in the country. When I auditioned for the Baltimore School of Performing Arts, I started to have good luck times.
Son, go Humpty, go!
I spent 3 years in Baltimore, my high school years. I made a lot of friends, like John Cole and Jada Pinkett. I loved my classes. We were exposed to everything. You know, theater, ballet, listen to different types of music, songs that became the soundtrack to my life. But in my homeboys' high school, it's not like that. They don't have trips to go see this Broadway play, and they don't read things we were reading, and they didn't know what I was talking about when I was like, yo, Shakespeare is dope. They don't have the same experiences that we had. So then I started thinking, as the art school I went to was mostly for white kids and rich minorities. So I started going, damn, man, I would have been a totally different person had I not been exposed to these things.
I need money. I used to be a stick-up kid, so...
This will be my final show performances in London. This will be it. This is it. And when I say this is it, it really means this is it.
An involuntary manslaughter, a felony, Dr. Murray. How do you plead? Your Honor, I am an innocent man. I therefore plead not guilty. Thank you.
I truly feel that Conrad Murray is simply the fall guy. This was definitely something that was premeditated, that they had planned to do, and they planned to take my brother out, and my brother knew it, and that's why he told me repeatedly and repeatedly and repeatedly that this was going to happen to him. He explained it to me. He explained it's because of my catalog, which is my publishing, and they're after it, and they want it, and they want their hands on it, and they want to take it away from me. So Michael developed this love-hate relationship with his catalog. I don't want it because it's going to destroy my life. No, it's mine. I'm going to keep it. I'm not going to let them rip it apart and take it from me. This went back and forth. I began to see his personality change. Michael had notes in his house saying how he hates John Branca, he hates Randy Phillips, he doesn't want them around, he'll never fly with them. He just went on and on expressing how he felt about these people. These people were all involved. Mind you, the will, I truly believe and I know that the will is fake. Because Michael was in New York when the will was signed, and they say he signed it in LA, and he did not. And they know this. But yet they put themselves as the executors on this estate. There was another guy that was in the will, Barry Siegel, but he pleasantly removed himself from it. Why would he do that? Because he knew that it was fake and he wasn't going to get involved in the skullduggery. That's why.
It strikes me that you've seen, I mean, obviously you've seen the industry from both the content side and also the distribution side. What, in your view, is most important, content or distribution?
Well, there's no comparison. You have no distribution without the content. I mean, without, let's call it a hit or music that people like, you end up with an empty slate and an empty disc. I never saw anyone distribute some music that people didn't like. Actually, the only thing that's changed in the industry is the way we distribute music and the way we sell music.
Man, with the touch of repossessed my car. Don't push me, cause I'm close to the edge.
The only thing that's changed in the industry is the way we distribute music and the way we sell music.
Yes,
Just come on, brothers, if you want to hear a story about that preacher and the bear. Gather round, boys, I don't want you to miss none of this here story, 'cause it goes like this. A preacher, he went out to hunting. It was on one Sunday morning. Though he was one Christian young man, but he took his gun along. Well, the first thing he shot was a bunch of fine quails, and he shot him a nice fat hare. Then through the woods on his way back home, he met a great big grizzly bear. Then the Reverend fell down upon his knees. He sent up a great long prayer, whilst he cast one eye to the heaven on high, but kept the other eye on the bear. He said, the Lord delivered Daniel from the lion den, Jonah from the belly of the whale. The 3 Hebrew boys from the fiery furnace, said a good book do declare. Now look here, Lord, if you don't help me, don't you go to helping that bear. He needed that only time, Johnny needed that only time, he needed that only time, John, brother, it's good enough for me. My Lord, that only time, John, brother, that only time, why don't you give me that only time, John, brother, it's good enough for me. Yes, then the bear walked out in the middle of the road, up to the Reverend walks he. That Reverend laid his religion down, he climbed up a tall pine tree. Yes, he climbed way up to the top of that tree and climbed out on a limb, whilst the bear sits down so endlessly and licked his mouth at him. Around about 3 o'clock, the old limb broke. Reverend came tumbling down. Boy, he grabbed his knife, he cut the bear 10 times before he struck the ground. He needed some only time, Johnny needed some only time, he needed some only time, John, brother, it's good enough for me. My Lord, that's only time, John, brother, that's only time, why don't you give me that only time, John, brother, it's good enough for me. Yes, then the bear reached out to give the Reverend a hug like you would hug a long-lost friend. But old Reverend put on that disappearing act, he went splitting through the wind. Old Reverend went to running like an old hound dog, trying to overtake a hare. He went home at the bed and took 6 naps before his shadow got there. He had that only time, Johnny had that only time, he had that only time, Johnny, brother, it's good enough for me. My Lord, that only time, John, brother, that only time, why don't you give me that only time, Johnny, brother, it's good enough for me. See, brother, the preacher made a touchdown.
The only thing that's changed in the industry is the way we distribute music and the way we sell music.
United States of America, we wouldn't have virtually any music if it weren't for the black people. Virtually, I think all of our music, whether it's country, western, bluegrass, the blues, rock and roll, you name it, it all started and came from black America. So when you listen to the music of your choice, remember, chances are you wouldn't hear that music if it weren't for black people long ago.
My man is right there talking that right. 1988, a man named Tom Beasley, man. That's the co-founder of the corrections for Corporation of America. That's the CCA. You know what I'm saying? Excuse my French. I'm reading this thing right there real quick. It's the CCA. So in 1988, he founded that, and this is in straight concert with the same thing. So it's like the music business. You do what you do on your side. And over here with the correction facilities, we're going to do on this side, because in 1970, there was 500 prisons. You know what I'm saying? Only 500 prisons in the United States. To this day, there's 1,700 prisons right now. That means big business. I'm talking about that done flippled over. You know what I'm saying? If flippled over is a word. Because they're making a lot of money off of these things per inmate. You know what I'm saying? So getting with the same thing of the music, it all went hand in hand, and we just partying at the same time. So us as the artists is the tool they use. Yeah. The music is the bait. Yep. And the young consumers are the prey. It's a cold game. Cold game, bro. Cold game. Then I feel sad. Sad because everything we seem to try to create, we always seem to give it away. We're always being tricked and deceived into believing that they have our best interests at hand, when clearly they never have and they never will. They never will have our best interests at hand. It's blow after blow after blow after blow.
How you doing? Can you tell me how you doing today?
Well, I just had to listen to the prosecution's closing argument, and it was just so far from the truth that it really just has me drained at the end of the day. But I'm leaving it in the hands of the jury. I'm learning a lot about people's innermost fears in this trial because it's not even about my trial no more. It's just about loud rap music, tattoo having thugs. It's not even about me no more. It's about, you know, some nightmare that these people having.
She's talking about thug life and all that, trying to...
He's definitely guilty. Anybody with thug life tattooed on their stomach is guilty. What type of reasoning is that? You know what I'm saying? We got different backgrounds. We come from two different places. Just because I look different than her doesn't mean that I'm a sodomizer or a raper. They've said it in the... I can't understand why it's this close. They talking about there's no evidence that I ever sodomized her, even though you put that all over the paper. And every time they take a quote out of this courtroom, they take a quote from out of her mouth, which is, you know, the stuff to put me in jail. It's nothing that's been true. I just want print the facts so everybody can sort it out. My life is ruined because nobody has a chance to get the facts.
And the fact is that there was no semen found.
No semen found, no forcible entry, no entry into the anal, no nothing, none of that. You know,
and no fingerprints on the gun.
No fingerprints on the guns, you know what I'm saying? The only time ever there was an act of sodomy, she admitted she did it to me. I should be, you know, putting charges on this girl who sodomized me on the floor of a dance club. Why am I in court? You know what I'm saying? Get my life ripped apart. But I'm here, I'm gonna go through it just to show that I have faith in the American system. But for me to have faith in the American system, these juries and everybody else has to, you know what I'm saying, play the same role and to keep an open mind. I'm already convicted. My whole life has been turned around. I lost every job, I lost everything, every opportunity. I can't get buy cars, can't get rent, can't get none of that. But I'm still a survivor, you know, I'm still coming to court, still smiling, still signing autographs. But soon I'm gonna go crazy. You know what I'm saying? And it's up to the world. You know, America eats its babies. No matter what y'all think about me, I'm still your child. You know what I'm saying? You can't just turn me off like that.
Repossessed my car. Don't push me, cause I'm close to the edge. I'm right on top. It's tricky. Here we go. It's tricky to rock around. That's right on time. It's tricky. It's tricky. Come on. I see no changes. Wake up in the morning and I ask myself, it's like worth living, should I blast myself? I'm tired of being...
Now people always say, oh my God, that's ridiculous, nothing's changed. Well, nothing has changed. If you don't have a hit, you have a zero. You have nothing. So we're all slaves to the people, the brilliant people who are in touch with the culture and can spot an artist, can spot a record that's going to be important, that people are going to die to listen to over and over again. And that's hard to do. And that's where we invest our money, in these people.
Let me ask you, do you feel vindicated? You've been saying for the last year and a half, yes, my dad did this, and yes, my family was abused, and everyone's been saying wrong, and suddenly it was right. Did you just say, thank God?
Honestly?
Yeah.
No.
What did you feel?
Because I knew what the truth was. I've been knowing it for the longest. I knew it a long time ago, and I was so angry that no one really would speak out, although no one said it wasn't the truth besides my mother, my father, and one other brother.
Right.
So when he did admit it, it was like, I wish you would have done it sooner.
Family? No, you looking at the family now. And when I hear you black folk talking about fam, you back the good old days when the family was the family. When was that? When was the black family the black family? When white folk could just come in the house and lynch any nigga in the family they wanted, and one of the damn thing you would do was say, well, thank God they didn't get all of us. Was that the family y'all talking about? The family when you could go to World War II and the same German that your daddy can come to America and live and work where your daddy can't work. That's the black family you talking about. You talking about back when the black family was the black family, when black American soldiers was coming back bringing those Germans to the POW camps, and they'd let them white murdering Germans go into the front of the restaurant and sit down and eat like men, but them niggas had to stand outside and have their food pitched to them. Is that the black family you talking about? Well, God don't never let me go back to them heathens. Never. That's the black family. And what white family they talking about? The same white folks that sit around and watch it happen? That's the family? No, you...
want to say it? Well, what he said was to one of the artists who work at Sony, he has a contract with the company, and he called him a fat black nigger. And I can't deal with that, you know, it's wrong. But just remember also that when an artist break all-time records, and I'm not here to brag, because what I've done in the record industry, I've broken from Elvis to Beatles to this day, Thriller still is the largest selling album of all time. That's right, saved them from bankruptcy. And I made billions of dollars for Sony. And what they did was really terrible. And not just to me, but some of their other artists too. You know, from George Michael to Mariah Carey to, you know, yeah. He has got to go. He has got to be terminated. I want to thank Reverend Al Sharpton. Without you, we couldn't have done this. We're crazy.
Son, go Humpty, go Humpty, go. With the bullet that he brought, 9mm kicking, thinking about what the street do to me.
All right, still hanging out at the after party, and with me from Death Row. Introduce yourself, my man.
I'm Suge Knight and Tupac Shakur.
All right. Now here's the deal. First of all, can you tell us what you actually thought about the actual rap category in terms of? I mean, I saw Coolio win, and I was like, sorry.
It's like this. For us, anything with wars, wouldn't even think about that. He got an album out there. He sold 6 million records. He sold 3 million singles. He got another album coming out, Machiavelli. Snoop got an album coming out. We just move forward. We don't even get caught up in that type of shit.
All right, man. But can we talk about Death Row East? What is exactly happening, and what can we expect from it?
You believe in God?
Certainly.
Believe in Death Row East. Believe in that, for real. That's it right there. If you believe in God, believe in Death Row East. We plan to take the same strategy we use with Death Row West, which is mind over matter, taking all our weaknesses and making it into our strengths. We know that we got strength in numbers. We already run the streets out here. So now we just gonna help some of these brothers get their money on because we know they got talent. We got the ways to make them use their talent to the maximum effect. And that's what this is about. Everybody rap. We don't rap. We rap to make money. We do business. Ain't no other record company out there that sold as many records as we did. We outsold Bad Boy, LaFace, every black record label out there, we outsold them in 1 year. And I'm a convict, and my homeboy just got off a murder case. So that tell you that it's pure talent, no hype. We don't got no all-American smiles. They don't even want to buy our record, but they gotta buy our record because we represent the street. So Death Row East is going to be a personification of what we did on the West Side. We're going to do it to the East Side, and we're going to prove once and for all that all these people talking about an East Coast, West Coast war, they like the Judas was to Jesus. They only here to cause confusion. We here to bring money and to bring change. They here to cause confusion. All these weak rappers, Nas, all these suckers, they battling off of East and West like this is a game. This ain't no game. If this was chess, we'd be yelling checkmate 3 years ago because we've been beat these. It's not a game. We out here trying to help our people make money. We trying to get out of this 3-strike circle they got us in and start getting our papers on. So that's what we doing. By strength in numbers, we coming to the East Coast to prove there is no fear, there is no problem, there ain't nothing but opportunity. And the opportunity is overthrow the government y'all got right now, which is Bad Boy and Nas and all that bullshit, and we will bring a new government here that will feed every person in New York.
Music, like in terms of getting paid, it's like the biggest thing in owning all your art.
Yeah, because it's the mind industry that I chose to be a part of. So it's like I accept it, I run with it, but don't be a dumbass at the same time. You gotta understand they're using me as entertainment, and this shit becomes self-destruction too. Cause I ain't no entertainer. You know, some shit can't be spoke on. Why? Man, but that shit is to be continued.
Is in terms of like
every time too much money.
And I didn't want to leave William Morris. It was a big deal for me to be there. And he said, well, just tell them that you're gay. I said, tell them I'm gay? I said, seriously?
Was there a relevance to his sexual life as an out gay man?
I think there was, and that's why it's in the film, because I think he was someone who struggled with it, who explored bisexuality. I think, you know, we don't go into chapter and verse on this, but clearly, if you were going to marry Cher, you know, you were, you know, in that bisexual world. And then he came to terms, and he says it in the film. One of the things I needed to do was to come to terms with being gay, and I did.
Griff, Minister of Information, public enemy #1. I'm probably that public enemy. But this is my book, Analytics. It is 20 years of conversations and interviews with yours truly, Professor Griff, Minister of Information. I'm here at Black Nobel. That raised some eyebrows with people is when I dropped the information about Quincy Jones. I let the chips fall wherever they fall. That's right. This dude was one of the ones responsible. He had a magazine financed by Warner Brothers and the rest of them. He set up sex rings in Hollywood. And the people that he brought in, if y'all tell me if I'm lying, Quincy Jones brought in Fresh Prince. And his first movie was what? 6 Degrees of Separation. Brought in Queen Latifah.
Set it off.
Queen Latifah set it off, licking and kissing on women. Are you following me?
Yes.
Tevin Campbell. His little sweet ass up and down Hollywood Boulevard.
Got caught in the park.
Thank you. And last but not least, when Tupac came to Hollywood, it was the homosexual ritual. This is where the homosexuals came out against it, but I didn't mind. I wasn't talking about homosexuals. I'm saying there's a homosexual ritual that they go through in the Illuminati secret societies. And it is. So when I mentioned that about it marrying itself on to hip-hop, they said, well, can you prove it? Yeah. Go back and go online and read where Tupac said he was asked by Quincy Jones to fuck him in the ass. When Tupac said no, that's when Tupac was marked for death. Why? Because Tupac was engaged to Quincy Jones's daughter. Quincy Jones's daughter was best friend was Aaliyah. Aaliyah was engaged to Dame Dash. Now, if y'all follow these people back, all of them either died or was brought to ruin. Who creates and manufacture these trends? Brothers of Sagging, which y'all know is nigga spelled backwards, right? And what they did was marry the criminal culture in jail onto the street culture and made it part of hip-hop. So now, homosexuality is on the rise, and they made the new cleavage became the butt crack.
That's right. Homosexual mom.
Are you following me?
Didn't care about singing "We Are the World."
But I had my own culture about how I ran these companies and have continued to do this through my whole career.
Extortion and all type of fuckery.
I'm like, what the fuck? They gonna kill people? Grab the back like this and they go buff in the crowd. And I'm like, what the fuck they doing? And you know the Jamaican shit came out of me and I started telling my hair boy, I got back up and I'm out here, my hair boy, we are ramping there, boy, man. I said, oh shit, he's Jamaican.
So, you ever heard of Panda? Like I was telling you, Panda. So you got Panda Panda is a secret code for a certain thing. And so when it comes down to that certain thing, what it is you basically have a certain nerve in your rectum, and if you touch that nerve, you can turn a person into an animal, you can turn a person into whatever you want them to be if you just hold them down. So pretty much when you see black eyes like Blueface and shit like that, he got beat up, but he didn't get beat up where you thought he got beat up. He got beat up somewhere else. Okay, and so the eyes come out, and they call them panda eyes, and they do this so you see people with these cigars And they're you know, all these big celebrities, they all have the cigar in common. That's that big ass thing between their legs that they're sticking in.
I had no idea if this was the stage I was going through or not. But I go to the draft board in Brooklyn, and I fill out the form, and there was a question that said, do you have homosexual tendencies? And I check yes. But wherever I was online, I'd see people I went to high school with, and I was afraid of anybody knowing this about me. So I kept on falling back in line and falling back in line. If you said you had homosexual tendencies, they sent you to a psychiatrist. He said, I see here that you've checked the box. And I said, yep. He said, so you think you'd have a problem serving in the armed forces? I said, well, you know, so many men. And I was out of the service.
Make even more noise for my band.
It's all bullshit, isn't it, really, Mr. Barkley?
Now we've at least creeped from racism to currency, to money.
Yeah.
We went from racism to money. And that's where we went. We went, this country, there was no before. We went from a racist society to a greedy one.
Right.
So now we're greedy.
A true caste system.
Caste system. Here we are now. Now, right, we went from racism to caste. We call it class.
Right.
But caste system, and thus the Aryan and all of that, and okay.
All right.
Yo, can y'all hear my voice? Then know that you are not alone. Your ancestors are walking with you. This is higher knowledge that other people can't access, so they don't talk about it. Never let somebody else define who you are. That is the meaning of hip-hop. That is the meaning of it. Not that we rap or we break or whatever. You gotta ask yourself, what caused us to do this? We didn't just wake up rapping and shit. We got a point of view. And that point of view is what we are rapping about, or dancing about, or putting art up, or making movies, or whatever. We're expressing our point of view. Never let anybody shut your voice up, shut your purpose up, shut your point of view up. Speak the truth, stand for righteousness, and you'll always be in the right place.
So real quick, those little clips that was in the background, that's just a little sample of what might be coming on part 2. I'm gonna break down all those. It's some stuff I was digging through. I didn't want to go through and get too deep on those, but I appreciate y'all being here. I will be getting to it on part 2, so let's get it.
So the word nigga originally meant king. It comes from the word negus and nagas, and negus nagas meaning king of kings. There's also, just to go deeper with that, because even before negus and nagas, you get this word called nga, which is a word called nya, and it goes back to the what is called the Xhosa, the Xhosa click language. And when colonial powers were coming in and invading Africa, the priests that would have been called the Nkosi, the Negus, the Naga, all Nagari even, which gets its Indian origination over there, the Devanagari writing, they
Then came the night of September 7th, 1996. Tupac attended the Mike Tyson fight in Las Vegas. A brawl broke out in the MGM Grand Lobby, a fight that involved Tupac and a known Crip affiliate, Orlando Anderson. Hours later, as Tupac and Suge Knight drove down the Vegas Strip, a white Cadillac pulled up alongside them. Shots rang out. Tupac was hit multiple times. He fought for his life for 6 days before succumbing to his injuries on September 13th, 1996. He was just 25 years old. His murder remains unsolved. Theories range from gang retaliation to government conspiracy. Was it a setup? A hit ordered by Suge as a result of the East Coast-West Coast beef? Or was it something even bigger? An effort to silence a man who spoke too much truth?
Perfect. All right. Mr. Jones, I'm going to place you under oath. Please raise your right hand. You do solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in this action shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
May I please have you state and spell your first and last name for the record?
Cash, C-A-S-H, Jones, J-O-N-E-S.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Arnold, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Jones, what was the amount that you paid for the bail bond premium in this case?
$112,000. It was 15% of whatever the $750 was.
Okay.
$112,000 and some odd dollars.
I'm sorry, when did you become good friends with Mr. Davis?
The day I met him, the day we shook hands. You know, we come from our upbringing, we come from the opposite sides of the track. So, in my travels over the last 25 years, coming from the gang life and making my exit from being a gang banger, anybody that I meet that's willing to sit down with me and be cordial and be respectful, I'm going to consider a good friend. His life rights contract. Somebody told me he had did a life rights deal, and I was asking them why didn't they come assist him.
And so you didn't ask him to send you his waiver of his life rights to you, have you?
No, I mean, at the end of the day, again, that's not my lane. That's not what I do. I do music.
And I'm gonna have to play some exhibits later, Your Honor, but in terms of if someone were to say that this money put up is not entirely for you, would that be the truth or a lie?
Say it again?
If someone were to say that the money provided here to bail Mr. Davis out is not from you, would that be the truth or a lie?
Be a lie.
Okay. If someone
I didn't send the money, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Saying I'm not the one providing the funds?
Yes.
Yeah, that would be a lie.
If someone said you are being used as a front, would that be the truth or a lie?
That would be a lie.
If someone says you are a middleman in this transaction, would that be a truth or a lie?
That would be a lie.
If somebody said that there's a movie company putting up the money for you, would that be the truth or a lie?
What?
My English is bad. I'm a high school dropout. You know, it's gonna be real. I'm gonna be talking like real shop, but I'm gonna be talking from my heart. Ain't nothing written down. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. Cause y'all got to feel me. We talking in slang, so you know some of y'all might get lost. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna just do what I got to do. And then check this out. When I say I'm losing it, I mean I'm losing. I mean that for real. This ain't no free speech. This shit ain't like just to make it sound good. So I get y'all into it. This ain't to make it so, ooh, he felt that. I'm losing. You feel me? I know y'all can pick up the papers and see that man got problems. And I do, but we all got problems. And mine is by my motherfucking self. You know what I'm saying? He did tell y'all about my mama and the Panthers and all that. But let me tell you where I ended up, y'all. Let me tell you where I ended up. My mama was a crack addict. I ended up in Baltimore on welfare with no lights on in high school. So we got to really watch this struggle shit. If we don't struggle, we got to struggle every motherfucking day till this shit is over. Let them know, bro. You know? Fuck that. All that shit that went on in the 60s ain't finna happen in this motherfucker. I'll be dropping some of you motherfuckers who need some babies beyond this year. Trust me when I tell you that shit. Cause goddamn it, I'm losing. And the only reason I'm losing is because I never had a daddy. I never had nobody to sit me down and tell me this. You know what I'm saying? They told me, but I didn't believe it because they left my mama crack. I'm telling y'all the truth, as much as you heard me, cracked out, homeless, no life in Baltimore. And my mother put motherfucking work in. Do you hear me? My mama was a gun packing. What I'm talking about for you, motherfucker, excuse me. But my mama put in work. You know, to be laying up in a room cracked out, I got disdain for a lot of motherfuckers. You feel me? And that's why I'm telling y'all, I got to be serious. If we gonna struggle, the struggle got to come from our heart. It can't come because we looking to it from a king back then. It got to come because I'm looking at you and you look goddamn good to me and you my sister. And I ain't finna let none of these crackers take you down. You feel me? It got to come like that. It got to come from my heart. It's like that. It's like that. It's hard out here. Like they say we got war. And in war, everything is good. It's all good. You feel me? And when I say thug life, I mean that shit. Because these white folks see us as thugs. I don't care what y'all think. I don't care if you think you a lawyer, if you a man, if you an African American, if you whatever the fuck you think you are. We thugs and niggas to these motherfuckers. You know? And until we own some shit, I'ma call it like it is. How you gonna be a man and we starve? You know? And you can walk by 5 different houses and a man in either one of them motherfuckers. How we gonna be a man? How we gonna be African American? We out here dying. We thugs and we niggas until we set this straight this shit right. We gonna stay thugs. You know? And that's real, man. It's like a motherfucker, I have nightmares. I mean this shit. I'm dead serious. And whoever I heard, I apologize. But I have nightmares, y'all. I swear to God. Shit changed me. I used to be the cool mother. I used to be cool. I used to be happy. I used to talk good. I used to talk without cursing. I used to walk, you know. But goddamn, they done took Latasha. They done took Yusef. They taking out niggas younger than me, man. And we ain't doing shit. Nobody Hutchins died 17 years fucking old. When we 17, you know what we doing? Killing each other. You know that shit kills me, man. Little Natasha got a bullet on the motherfucking back and ain't damn one of y'all do a motherfucking thing. What's wrong with you, man? Fucking losers out here. This shit grieves me. Only reason I came is so I could curse at y'all and get y'all in the right motherfucking track. You dying. We are dying. That's real. We ain't got time for nothing except war. And I don't care how you got to be at war, you need to put yourself in that mind state so we can be there. If I got to thug to be at war, I'm going to be thugging. If you got to be a Muslim to be at war, be a Muslim, but be at motherfucking war, and let's go fucking shoulder to shoulder and start doing something. We can't do with so much marching, y'all. And I know y'all think it's right, but we can't. They not think we've been marching for damn near 100 years. We are marching on the anniversary of when we marched 25 years ago. I'm 22 years fucking old. How am I telling y'all this shit? How is it getting to be like this? And they wonder why I went around calling myself a thug and a thug for life. Because we by ourselves. You know what I'm saying? I got my ass beat by 2 white police officers, man, and it shook my whole world. I was a rapper. I had just did juice. Even though I was very progressive, my family been paying. I was really about just getting out there making some money. I had enough of poverty. I thought I made it. I thought I made it. I swear to God, I thought I made it. I felt good about myself. I felt good like I did something, like I was a part of this society, you know? And I always wanted to think for myself. And I said, okay, I'm here. I didn't get a move. I want to scream. I'm rapping. I got money in my pocket. I got a bank account. I'm going to the bank. You know, I swear to God, on my mama, 2 police officers stopped me. What's your name? Tupac Shakur. Go ahead, bro. They start laughing. What kind of name is that? Shit. What's your name? John. What fucking kind of name is that? You feel me? But I was wrong that these 2 niggas had guns. These 2 cops had guns and sticks and attitudes. So it so happened I jaywalked. I swear to y'all, I didn't even know what jaywalking was. I swear, I thought he meant that I was bopping. You know, like walking. I thought when he said the J over and stuff, they stopped, 2 cops stopped me in front of my bank, hands up, talking about the whole routine for jaywalking. Not for coming out of the car with a gun. I wasn't strapped at all then. Now, I swear to God, you're going to find me strapped like a motherfucker and ready to shoot. And today I'm on this podium, tomorrow I could be in the fucking Times. Because they going to have me. And y'all need to protect me, and you need to protect your damn self. We can't do numbers, speeches, books, rifles, Quincy laws, X-hats, potato chips, none of that shit. You need a motherfucking Mini 14 or an M16 or something. You need to start getting over some of these motherfucking drugs. Because we done. We can't be kings and queens till we still living. Do you feel me? kicking up dust at. You know? I don't want to be with these motherfuckers that's building houses and think we got a part of this society. I want to be with niggas that's kicking up dust at. So what if they got gangs, goddammit? They got gangs, but they kicking up dust. What are we doing? Go ahead, Pop. What are we doing? I know y'all tripping off because it's like, but on the real, all bullshit aside, on the real though, it's like, we really ain't got no choice. You know, even though I know how you feel, I feel the same way. That's why I'm so angry. That's why I curse so much. You know, because I feel like it ain't right. It ain't right when I'm 22 and this is the life I gotta live. You know, it ain't right that I gotta be, I'm like a fucking vet. You know, I wake up, man, sweaty, man, so I'm on the top. What the fuck is going on? So why he beat my ass? Why police just beat the shit out of me? I woke up unconscious, man. My face all cut up with Jay motherfucking walking. That shit just shook me. I'll never be right again. I'm losing it. You feel me? Yeah. And I'm not even rapping. I'm not even a cook. You know, a so-called cook. I'm not even right. What the hell's going on? I'm no record, no nothing. As soon as I started rapping, this is what made me see me at war. As soon as I started rapping, as soon as I start talking that shit about they got me trapped, sold the story, I don't give a fuck. It's like I got comments coming from everywhere. You know, I got cases coming from everywhere, man. People that's supposed to be my king, queen. She just told the police I beat her up. I ain't even touch her. You feel me? This what I'm doing. I'm losing it. That's what I'm telling y'all. I'm losing it. It ain't all cool. So when you see me in the paper, you're going, damn, man, what's wrong with him? You know, hey, it's hard out there. It's hard out there, and it's even hard for a nigga by himself. When I go home by my motherfucking self. When I close the door, it's by my motherfucking self. You feel me? It's time for some soldier shit. You know, from the females and from the males. That's real. And it's time for the women. I'm not blaming on you, I'm not putting you in your corner, but you have so much you don't know. You have so much power over niggas. You run shit, but you just don't know. And it's a game. I know the man, I'm gonna hit y'all to the game. When a nigga sees you do anything for him, he's gonna run you. But if you keep your principles, if you stay your ground, you know what you want out of that nigga, you push that or leave that. Trust me, it ain't no shortage of young black men. Which is sick, you know? That's how we gotta handle that. You know, we gotta handle that shit. We got to be more like down for each other. You know, I know we're not supposed to use the term gangster bitch, but damn. We got to be down for each other. You know, we got to be soldiers, man. They gonna be writing about us in 20 years. You know, it's that time, y'all. It's that time. It's the 90s. You know what the 90s is upside down? The fucking 60s. You know what I'm saying? We gonna turn this shit upside down all over again. And we the ones that got the power to do it. Did you see what happened on April 29th? Y'all ain't see that shit on the news today? I was fucking stuff in LA. I was there. I was filming a movie getting paid G's, but that night, I was there. I was in the streets with my folks. Niggas had I don't care what they say about gangbangs in LA. Niggas had their motherfucking dogs up, and it was all good. Whatever it said, I'm telling you, man, this is the sight I'm keeping this picture I'm keeping my mind till it happen again. Because I've seen it for myself, and I know it can happen. And all my life, I never thought it could happen. But I've seen it for myself. I was there. And you know what made it happen? War, a common enemy. That's right. We was fighting a common enemy, so it was like a setup. And that's what we need now. As long as we sit here and study for the common, we studying the fight. Man! Oh, we are studying to fight. Getting ready to fight. And we're doing all our fighting. Nothing's wrong with going to college, so I say I'm proud of brother. We're doing all our fighting and debates. We debate this shit. We debate for our freedom. We ain't gonna get into no legislation. We ain't finna get it through marching. We ain't even finna get it through one uprising. We not finna get it through one April 29th. We finna get it every day. You got all of us, everywhere, see it as a necessity that we struggle to fight back. We have that as a right. That is our right when we were born. God put it to your heart to self-defeat your motherfucking self. Yeah. Fuck the next nigga. You know, if that nigga want to be a gangbanger, he don't want to follow your way, fuck that nigga. Trust me, he's out of there. He's out of there. But you have obligations to your folks, to the niggas that fell before you, to handle your motherfucking business, no matter what it is. All of it ain't gonna be free, all of it ain't gonna be out there with many more teams. Some of that shit gonna be staying your ass home with the kids. put some knowledge in your kid's head. You know what I'm saying? All the niggas and all the females. Just because she a female don't mean she got to stay home with the babies. That's bullshit. Because I would much rather have some of you females out there with me in war than some of these niggas. It's a whole bunch of punks. You know, that whole city of we African Americans, everything is equal shit, and it's not NAACP shit. I'm gonna speak on that shit. Because I was reading the paper, I saw NAACP at a celebration for the Emancipation Proclamation. That's right. Okay, so, from what I just said, how's the NAACP still a business? Oh, oh, ain't nobody heard. How's the NAACP still in business? How's these motherfuckers still in business? White folks, yeah, that's cool too. That's cool too. Yeah, we let them do that shit. We let them represent us. How motherfuckers gonna stand there and talk about you for the advance of the colored folks? Go ahead. What the fuck is that? That's right. Go ahead. And these grown black folks, they be our color. Representing us to these white folks. And we be letting them do it. Because we proud. Because they got on suits, they got offices and shit. And everything that they call the NAACP. We let them do that shit, represent us. You know, they make us look bad. Really? We really are too, I'm not trying to take up for the thugs and the gangsters and shit, but now, I'm coming from a different school. I'm coming from the Panthers, and that's what they did. They went to the street element, and that's what they mobilized the soldiers. You know, that's what my mama did. That's my job. I'm going to stay in the streets and get my thug niggas who was down for me in the streets. Because I'm going to tell you, when my mama started cracking and I was by myself, this brother right here, Watani Tyler, was the only person in this movement anywhere that took care of me. Okay? So it ain't no motherfucking struggle if you don't take care of your baby. Not just yours, but the other soldiers, you know? What about that? What about all these soldiers sitting in jail? Where their kids at? Don't none of you motherfuckers give a fuck about them. Ready to carry a flag for where they shut. You ain't taking care of their motherfucking kids or their families. That's hypocritical. That ain't right. That's right. That shit ain't right, man. We got too many kids out here with nobody to put nothing in their head. Then you motherfuckers get mad when you see them again up in the courtroom. You know? So my white raper. Nigga, you left him by himself. Yeah. Left him by his motherfucking self. So he learned how to be a G from the crackers, and that's what he learned. He learned how they want him to be. That's right. Nobody taught me shit. And my mama was a parent, you know? My mom would tell me, but she was too involved in it to sit down and really explain shit to me. You know? So it's a double tragedy because I'm like damn near forced to go through some of the shit that some of these soldiers went through. But because they didn't tell the new generation, they didn't arm us, I gotta go through this shit all over again. You know, I'm still getting my ass kicked by police because the niggas back in the 60s been murdered every single one of them motherfuckers. You know? They want to be down with the police department. How can I see, how the fuck can a nigga put on a police uniform in 1993? Fuck that. Fuck that. When the shit come off, if you still got that motherfucker on, your ass is out. And if you got on the armed forces uniform, your ass is out. And if you in the guard, your ass is out. Because niggas is armed in 1993. The gang elements are armed. And they all back. As much as you want to think they dumb or whatever, they on their toes this motherfucking year. They on their toes and they ready to move. What are you ready to do? How you gonna handle it? Huh? When them niggas get out there with guns, what y'all gonna be doing? Watching that shit on TV? Marching? Singing? Selling raffle tickets and shit with the church? What y'all gonna be doing? I just want to know, because I know what the fuck I'm gonna be doing, but it would help me to know what my people is going to be doing when I'm out there. Because my mama tells me all the time, boy, you think you're going to save the world. Don't you know they're going to kill your black ass, these people going to bother you, and that's that. Get your back there. So all I want to say in closing is that we got to be united under whatever. Don't let shit hold us apart. I don't care if you're from Cali, New York, or whatever, if you're a blood, a crip, or a thug, or a school student, or a scholar, whatever. Don't let shit hold us back no more. We got to unite by any means necessary, and we got to fight.
But Tupac's story doesn't end with his death. His music, his words, his activism, they continue to inspire generations. From Kendrick Lamar to J. Cole, his influence can be heard in today's hip-hop. His call for justice, his raw depiction of life in the hood, and his belief in change remain as relevant as ever.
This world is such a, and when I say this world, I mean it. I don't mean in an ideal sense. I mean in every day, every little thing you do. It's such a, gimme, gimme, gimme. Everybody back off. You know, everybody's like, you taught that from school, everywhere. Big business. You want to be successful? You want to be like Trump? Gimme, gimme, gimme. Push, 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 push. Step, step, step. Crush, crush, crush. That's how it all is. And it's like, nobody ever stopped. Just, you know, I feel like instead of us just being like, slavery's bad, slavery's down, bad whitey, bad whitey. I mean, all right, let's stop that. And everybody's smart enough to know that, I mean, we've been slighted. And we want ours. And I don't mean by like ours, 40 acres and a mule, because we passed that. But we need help. I mean, for us to be on our own 2 feet, us meaning youth or us meaning black people, whatever you want to take it for us to be on our own 2 feet, we do need help. Because we have been here. We have been a good friend. If you want to make it a relationship type thing, we have been there, and now we deserve our payback. It's like you got a friend that you don't never look out for. You know, you dressed up in jewels. Now America's got jewels, and they paid and everything, and they lending money to everybody except us. And it's like, you know, everybody need a little help on their way to being, you know, self-reliant. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole thing about the album, about the Special Olympics. Everybody need a little something and they to be independent. No independent person just grew up and was born independent. You worked and you learned teamwork and you learned cooperation and unity and struggle, and then you became independent. And we have to teach that and instill that. And why is it that they want to do that? I mean, if this is truly a melting pot in the country where we care about and Lady Liberty got a hand like this, she really loves us, then we really need to be like that. And it needs to be the black kids. If there's a white person who got money, then he need to help them. He need to help black kids, Mexican kids, Korean kids, whatever. But it need to be real. And it need to be before we all die and then you say, oh, I made a mistake. We should have gave them some money. We really should have helped these folks. It's going to be too late. You know what I'm saying? And then that's when you got to pay your own karma. And that's when God make you punish. When God punishes you. Because I feel like, you know, it's too much money here. I mean, nobody should be hitting lotto for $36 million and we got people starving in the streets. That is not idealistic. That's just real. That is just stupid. There's no way Michael Jackson should have, or whoever Jackson, should have $1,000,000 billion and then there's people starving. There's no way. There's no way that these people should own planes and their people don't have houses, apartments, shacks, drawers, pants.
We say to people that say, well, they earned it. Now you go out and you're earning it.
If they earned it, then I think that that's good, and I think that they deserve it. But even if you earned it, you still owe. Because look at me, I don't have that mega money, but I feel guilty walking by somebody. I got to give them some mail. And if I know I got $3,000 in my pocket, I feel like it's wrong to give that person a quarter or $1. It's wrong. Only you know what you got in your pocket. And that's wrong. No matter what they do, if they take it and drink it, they take it and drink it. But, I mean, you got. You understand? And we all know how hard it is, and it's not about if you good or you bad. So since it's not about if you good or you bad, we know that because he don't got don't mean he was bad. Or don't mean he's a criminal, or don't mean he's crazy, or a drug addict, or none of that. It just means he don't got. And ain't it bad that you got 30? I mean, can you imagine somebody having $32 million? $32 million. And this person has nothing, and you can sleep. You can still go to the movies about, I mean, and then these are the type of people that get humanitarian awards. Millionaires. How can they be humanitarians? By the fact that they millionaires and there's so many poor people shows how unhumane they are. You know what I'm saying? And that bugs me. Not saying that when I'm never going to be rich, and I'm never, you know what I'm saying? But I'm saying it's a struggle, and I think everybody deserves. And I think there's a way to pay these people. I think there is a way. It just takes to be revolutionary. And it takes to do something out of the ordinary. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that if we just said, okay, I got an idea. No more porno buildings. You know what I'm saying? Let's build houses. Or no more polo games. Let's build houses for poor people. You know what I'm saying? Or, look, okay, I know you're rich. I know you got $40 billion. But can you just keep it to one house? You only need one house. And if you only got 2 kids, can you just keep it to 2 rooms? I mean, why have 52 rooms and you know there's somebody with no room? It just don't make sense to me. It don't. And then these people celebrate Christmas. They got big trees, huge trees, all the little trimmings. Everybody got gifts, and then somebody's starving.
That's you want from me. Kill me, girl. I give everything me have, road boy. You have all of my money, you have everything. Why so want from me? Eh? Huh? Your soul.
Appreciate y'all. Again, this was for promotional, educational, personal experience only. Please don't strike me down, YouTube. I know I use some people content, but you know, this needed to be heard. I appreciate y'all hanging around, and yeah, this is just part one. If y'all want to see some more, we'll see. We'll see if YouTube be mad at me or not. Maybe we can make some more. But I got a lot of stuff planned, so just let me know what y'all think. What y'all plan on. Never mind. Scratch all that. Anyway, I love y'all. Much love to y'all. Stay fresh. Stay blessed. And peace out.
Chasing down my goals, I self-law am master, supernatural disaster, metaphysical reaction. I am the flesh, I am the God. No one got the lab on lockdown. Talking hot winters and cold summers. Black Force Ones when we slide in the streets. We all stay home at a club jumping. What up, cousin? I see you, fam. Throwing slime coins when I watch the trial. Leos be capping, chatting action. Come and tap in the most interactive. I am the flesh. I am the God. I am the flesh. I am the God. Gon' tap in, gon' flesh skin every rap in. If you like us, gon' get the lights up. You sub, you can share, tell them pack in. Feeling left, right, front to the passenger side. It's right here, the premiere. How you know? Cause them boys broadcast to the live. Wanna talk about it, hit the link right here. Slide coins up, got 100 bands. Mars eyes, watch how the check. And the band made love to Obama head. 2 bands do a dance like check. I'ma keep going till I'm motherfucking tired. You what? I'm motherfucking tired. Slide real side, could we rain down game like what you mean? Just watch the rise. Watch the rise. Watch the rise. I am the flesh. I am the God. I am the flesh. I am the God.
Happy We Not Black History Month. Much love to y'all. I appreciate y'all for tapping in. Till next time, we gonna get it. This video is for educational and research purposes only. I love y'all, family. We out. Stay fresh. Stay blessed. Peace out.